Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have discussed about the microorganisms as foes, means as enemies. There do we have discussed how do these microbes, they are the causative agents of various types of diseases within human beings, within the group of plants, as well as within the group of animals. We have also discussed that they behaves like a disease causing microbes and we have called them as pathogens. We have also categorized different types of bacterial, viral, protozoan as well as fungal diseases and the modes of transmission, how do they are transmitted from one infected person to the other healthier person. Today we'll discuss about the topic which is prevention of diseases, that how do we can prevent these diseases within any person. So as if we go for that, we may observe in the column we have mentioned the on the left hand side methods of prevention and which diseases which can be prevented by those adopting that such methods. So first do we have mentioned here regarding vaccination. So we all of us are aware about the schedules of vaccines which are being given to a newborn child and how that the vaccination schedule that it helps to maintain to make the child, we can say, safer from those types of diseases. So different types of vaccines are available now these days through which we can prevent certain types of diseases. For example, tuberculosis, the BCG vaccine is there which helps to prevent the disease tuberculosis. La polio vaccine is there to prevent the disease of polio, just like mumps, measles, diphtheria, tetanus, so many different types of diseases which we can prevent, which may make in the list and which can be easily prevented by taking the vaccines. Just like there are other modes of prevention also, for example, using mosquito nets or mosquito repellents, or we may control the mosquito population by cultivating certain types of fishes that you may have heard that certain species of fishes like gambusia, they are being cultivated within the pond or some any other certain reservoir or water body through which we can easily control the population of mosquitoes. For example, these fishes, they eat the larvae of the mosquitoes. So what are the different types of diseases which can or which are created or which are transferred due to mosquito? For example, those are malaria, dengue, filaria, chikungunya, yellow fever, etc. So there are so many diseases which are caused by the mosquito biting. So we have to prevent by using mosquito nets or mosquito repellents, or just by controlling that the mosquito population not to stagnate the water anywhere or upon the rooftops or within the broken containers or like that. So now these days, so we have to be careful. The third mode of prevention is that proper disposal of waste and using disinfected water. So we are also aware that different types of diseases do get spread if we are not disposing the waste properly, and if the water that we are drinking, that is not we can say that the potable water, or if it is infected water. For example, typhoid, cholera, dysentery, hepatitis, different types of diseases may spread due to the consumption of contaminated water. So obviously there should be a proper disposal system, as well as the water which we are drinking, we have to be affirmed, or we should be make according to the need, that it should be potable water, it should be ready to fit for consumption. The fourth practice, that is good personal hygiene, means the individual has to make and maintain personal hygiene. If the person will not make personal hygiene, for example, if the hands are wet or like that, so the fingers and the joints are wet, it doesn't rubs and like that, so it may cause different types of diseases. For example, the fungal disease, which is the common, that is the ringworm disease, as well as the athlete's foot disease. These are the different common diseases if the person doesn't maintains the good personal hygiene. So till now we have discussed about the different types of methods of prevention and what are the different types of diseases which we can easily prevent by adopting these methods of prevention. Now we'll discuss about the microorganisms causing the diseases in animals. Just do we know that we human beings, we get infected from different types of diseases caused by the pathogens. Just do like the animals, the different groups of animals, they also get infected by the different groups of pathogens. So let us take a quick look regarding the chart that do we have mentioned here. The name of the disease has been mentioned, followed by the microorganism which causes the disease, whether the disease is bacterial disease, viral disease, or protozoan disease, or fungal disease, and which groups of animals do they are infected. For example, the first one that do we have mentioned is the anthrax disease, which is caused by the bacteria, and mostly it infects the cattle. Just like there is a foot and mouth disease, which is a viral disease caused by a virus, and the cattle community they gets infected most commonly by this particular foot and mouth disease. The next third disease, which is the rabies disease, which is a viral disease caused by a virus, and the infected animals that are dogs and monkeys. Just like another disease, which is tuberculosis, it is a bacterial disease. As we gets infected by tuberculosis, just do like certain groups of animals, they also get infected by the tuberculosis disease, which is also a bacterial disease. And that the groups of animals which are infected are cattle and poultry, means the birds, or we can say that the poultry farming where the birds and hens and these animals they are reared. Next disease is the ringworm disease, which is a fungal disease. The animals infected here also are the same group, cattle and poultry, birds. The next disease is aspergillosis, which is a fungal disease, and most commonly the poultry birds they are infected with this particular disease. The next last disease is the canine distemper, which is a viral disease and which infects the most commonly the dogs. So through this chart you have to memorize that which disease is caused by which type of agent, whether the disease is caused by a bacterial or a viral or a fungal agent, and the group of animals which they are infected by those diseases. So as do we have discussed, these microbes they cause diseases within the plants also. So we'll discuss about the diseases which are caused in plants. Again, there may be viral disease, bacterial disease, or fungal disease, and the group of plants which would be infected and what would be the symptoms that we will try to take a look. For example, the first disease that we have to discuss, which is the tobacco mosaic disease caused by the tobacco mosaic virus, which is a viral disease. What are the symptoms? Appearance of the uneven spots and discoloration on the leaves. So the leaves, it will show discoloration, the color of the leaf, it will be lost, and the appearance of uneven spots of the entire surface area. Likewise, if we go for the another category, which is a bacterial disease which causes the citrus canker. What are the symptoms? It mostly causes the disease in the citrus family, for example the lemon, oranges, or like that. So, and what are the symptoms? Lesion on leaves, stems, even on fruits also, with raised brown water soaked margins. Here we may observe the disease tobacco mosaic disease infecting the tobacco plants, in which the discoloration of the leaf has occurred. In the case of citrus canker, we have discussed just now that these types of water soaked margins would appear, and that would be caused due to the particular type of bacteria, and it may infect the others also. Here we may observe two lemons we have kept. One lemon we may see that it is not showing such type of raised symptoms, whereas in this case we may observe raised water soaked margins, or we may say that these symptoms are being observed, which is a bacterial disease, and this particular symptom we may call it as citrus canker. So these are common in the citrus family. For example, the lemon do we have discussed, oranges, and like that these types of within these types of fruits. The next disease do we have to discuss, which is a fungal disease. The common one is the rust of wheat, which affects the wheat plant. What it causes? The rust colored orange patches develops, means upon the wheat crop, the rust colored means oranges reddish colored patches they develop on the infected plant parts. If we go for the another one more fungal disease which causes the smut of rice in the paddy crop, what are the symptoms? Smut balls in the grains that would be infected, and it will develop smut ball like structures, and they further becomes greenish black in color followed by the bursting, and as they will become greenish blackish in color, it will burst and it will infect the other healthier plants. There is one more important that the fungal disease, which is the red rot of sugarcane. We may observe that what are the symptoms mentioned here. Infected stem may have dull red colored, we may say interrupted, occasional whitish patches across the stalk. So within this particular sugarcane, we may have seen many of the times that in the infected stem, red colored, interrupted, occasional whitish patches do they develop across the stalk, whereas upon the leaves, elongated red lesions on the midribs of the leaves, that also it is easily observed within the infected plant. So in the diagram, we may observe the wheat rust, whereas the smut of rice, both are the fungal disease which are caused by the fungus, and they causes the adverse effect upon the proper growth of the plant, affecting the quality as well as quantity of the product. So obviously, if any of these particular pathogens will affect their specific host, the productivity will decrease. The quality will also deteriorate as well as the quantity will also deteriorate. Just like one example has been given in the textbook, the Iris famine that was in 1740 and 41 was caused because of the complete destruction of the potato crop due to the disease late blight caused by fungus. So that was the particular disease was caused by the fungus, and it has caused the destruction of the potato crop, and due to which the particular Iris famine was caused. Now we'll discuss about the topic food poisoning. As the name suggests, which means it is an disorder, or we may say a disease which results due to the consumption of contaminated food. What are the reasons behind? We'll try to understand that. First of all, let's take a quick look regarding the symptoms. The symptoms would be shown by the presence of nausea, vomiting, severe pain in the abdominal region, or maybe diarrhea even, and may dehydration will take place. So also it may cause further on weakness, fatigued, as well as damage to the nervous system. So what is the reason behind? Let us try to understand. Suppose we have cooked the food in the early morning and we have not refrigerated within the refrigerator. Now these days the temperature and the humidity is appropriate for the growth and the germination of the certain groups of pathogens, for example fungal spores, bacterial spores, like that. So these spores, they are always floating around us. So if we forget it, or if we have not refrigerated the food within the refrigerator, might these spores, they will easily grow within the food particle, and they will increase their number, and while increasing their number, as they will go on increasing their number, they will release certain toxins, which means toxic chemicals would be released by these groups of pathogens, or we may say these groups of microbes, for example bacteria or fungi. And due to the release of these toxins and the consumption of these type of food items, or we may say the food item, it may cause these symptoms. So there may be food poisoning due to the bacteria. The bacteria may be Clostridium or through staphylococci, or whereas it may also take place due to the presence of fungus, which is aspergillus. One thing we should know, that we have written these names, we have underlined these names. These are the scientific names: Clostridium, Staphylococci, and Aspergillus. So the scientific names, there is certain rules and regulations. Whenever we write the scientific names, it has to be underlined. And obviously, whenever they are printed in books or magazines or anywhere in the newspaper, we may observe them, they are printed in italics. So whenever they are written with hand, they are underlined. So that we may say that due to the release of these toxins by the growth of these types of microbes within the food item, the particular disorder arises if the healthier person consumes such type of food item. So food, whenever it has been cooked, it should must be stored to prevent food poisoning. So whenever the food has been cooked, it should be refrigerated properly in a proper, we may say, in a hygienic way and in a clean utensil. And it is most common event we may observe in any picnics or large parties. If the food is not handled properly, due to mishandling also, sometimes the food poisoning may take place. So persons who handle or prepare food should also are advised they should wash their hands properly and handle the food properly to prevent contamination. So till so far here we have discussed today about the prevention of the diseases caused in the animals, as well as the diseases caused in the plants and food poisoning. Thank you. Have a nice day.